Why are you asking for more doors when your life still rattles with loose hinges? Greatness doesn't need more doors, just stronger locks. Say it aloud. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. Locks before doors. Before you ask for visibility, ask for viability. Before you seek access, secure restraint. Because doors let things in and out, but locks decide what, when, and who. Influence multiplies traffic. Only boundaries regulate it. Why do we call the letters of the alphabet characters? Because A is always A at 2 a.m. in Africa or in Asia, in the Bahamas or in Beijing. B is still B in the dark on Monday, under pressure, in a storm. That's why we call them characters. They do not change. Write this down. Character is what does not change. Not your feelings, not your opportunities, not your followers. Character unchanging. If you change under heat, it was not character, it was convenience. And greatness cannot sit on convenience. It collapses. What is a boundary? A boundary is a self-imposed law, a voluntary prison constructed by wisdom to protect you from your weaker self. Tweet that. A boundary is not an enemy. It's a bodyguard. It is a no-you sign before the negotiation starts. It is a fence you build while the sun is shining so you do not fall off the cliff at night. The Bible says, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down and without walls. Proverbs 25-28. No walls mean no locks. No locks mean anyone can enter. That's why some of you keep getting robbed, not by the devil, but by your lack of walls. Principles are laws. They never change. You can ignore them, but you can never disagree with them. Gravity doesn't care about your feelings. Jump off a 10-story building with faith and a smile, and gravity will meet you at the bottom with a fact. Write it down. When you violate principle, you do not break the law. The law breaks you. This is why your life must be governed, not by moods, but by laws you predecide. Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life, Proverbs 4:23. God is a military word. Install locks. Before promotion opens doors, boundaries strengthen locks. That's the premise. God never trusted Adam with a garden without a rule. You are free to eat of every tree, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. Genesis 2:16-17. Freedom with a boundary. Access with a lock. That one do not, protect it ever you may. Write it down. A single wise no secures 1,000 righteous yeses. If you despise the fence, you will forfeit the field. Stop praying for exposure without installing enclosure. You don't need more platforms. You need more protocols. You don't need more invitations. You need more limitations. The apostle said, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection. 1 Corinthians 9:27. That is a voluntary prison. That is a lock. Character is self-imposed discipline. You can never disagree with that principle. Hear me. Doors magnify what you are. Promotion does not purify, it amplifies. Without locks, your gifts will get you where your soul cannot survive. That's why many crashed publicly. They were negotiating in private what needed to be non-negotiable in principle. There is no such thing as a private life. Lead with your life. Install locks in secrecy so you don't bleed in public. So here's the foundation. Do not ask for more access. Install stronger self-imposed limits first. Say it again. Write it again. Place it where your eyes can't ignore it. Locks before doors. Because when the doors swing open, and they will, the only thing that will keep your tomorrow safe is the prison of your convictions you build today. Open your Bible. Don't just quote it. Read it. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Genesis 1:26. Sequence is revelation. Order is doctrine. Image before dominion. Write it down. You can never disagree with the principle. God never gives authority to a nature he cannot trust. He established character before he delegated power. Why? Because power is heavy. Dominion is weight. Only image, unchanging integrity can carry it. What is image? Image is not a selfie. Image is substance. Image is nature, likeness, DNA, who you are when no one is watching and when everyone is watching. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Deuteronomy 6:4. Oneness is holiness. Holiness is integrity. Integrity is integration. not pieces. One, that's image. If you are two in private and one in public, you are not integrated, you are disintegrating. Tweet that to somebody right now. Listen carefully. Power does not corrupt. Power exposes corruption. The spotlight doesn't create pimples, it reveals them. Lights don't make you, they make you visible. Dominion does not change you, it amplifies you. If your character is cracked, the microphone will magnify the fracture. If your heart has holes, the platform will pour pressure into those holes until you burst. Write this down. Power will kill you if character cannot carry you. Tweet that. Send it to your future self. There is no such thing as a private life. Leadership is a loud life. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. Matthew 5:16. Not your good words, your works. Lead with your life. If you don't want it published, don't practice it. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Mark 3:25. Two lives guarantee one fall. Dominion is public stewardship. It demands private sameness. Image before dominion, not image after damage control. Now hear the pre-commitment principle. Decide before you arrive. Locks before lights. Don't write your ethics in the green room. Don't draft your standards under the seduction of flattery. Daniel, purpose in his heart that he would not defile himself. Daniel 1-8. He decided before the table was set. Joseph said, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Genesis 39-9. He chose before the robe was in his hand. That is image guarding dominion. That is character escorting power safely past opportunity. You can never disagree with that principle. Let me tell you a story. A young founder came to me. Let's call her Alicia. Brilliant. App exploding. Investors circling. She said, Doctor, my door is opening fast. I said, good. Show me your locks faster. We sat in my office and wrote pre-commitments. No cash deals, every cent documented. No private dinners with funders, group settings only. No late night meetings, 9 p.m. Curfew. No unsigned NDAs for sensitive talks. Truth-telling protocol. Bad news travels first. 3 months later, a powerful executive invited her to a private strategy supper. The text glowed like destiny, but her pre-commit spoke louder. She declined with the protocol statement we drafted. That one no preserved her yes to a clean future round. Image carried dominion, locks before lights. Contrast that with another gifted young man. Let me call him Marcus. Voice like honey, following like a flood. He told me, Doc, when I get there, I'll set my standards. I warned him, principles are laws. They never change for your convenience. He disagreed softly. 6 months later, lights came, lies came, and leaked DMs followed. The spotlight didn't corrupt him. It simply made his private choices public. Dominion sat on sand and collapsed. I wept, not because he fell, but because it was preventable. Decide now. So, where are you in Genesis 1:26? Are you begging for dominion while resisting the mirror of image? Write this down. God promotes his likeness, not your talent. Your gift may open a door. Your image decides if the door stays open. He that walketh uprightly, walketh surely. Proverbs 10-9. Surely stability comes from integrity. Pre-commit today. Describe the person you always are at 2 a.m. In a storm, on a stage, in a kitchen. Script the no before the moment. Codify your honesty before the interview. Fix your moral prices at not for sale before the offer comes. Locks before lights. Dominion must sit on a foundation of pre-decided character or it collapses. That is not a suggestion, it is a law. Image before dominion. Say it, write it, live it. Because when God sees himself in you, oneness, sameness, integrity, he can trust you with what he loves. People, influence, resources. And when the doors swing open, and they will, your image will carry your dominion, and your destiny will not have to apologize for your decisions. Now, let us move from revelation to regulation. From idea to itinerary. Write this down. Philosophy produces values. Values produce morals. Morals inform ethics. Ethics produce character. Character becomes lifestyle. Say it again slowly until it is in your bones. Philosophy, what you believe about God. about yourself, about people, about purpose, gives birth to what you value. What you value shapes what you call right and wrong, your morals. Those morals, organized into consistent rules you agree to live by, become ethics. Ethics, practiced repeatedly under pressure, form character. And character, unmoved by wind and weather, becomes your lifestyle. That is the cascade. You can never disagree with that principle. But hear me. Values only protect you when they are translated into daily protocols you actually follow. Tweet that to somebody right now. Protocol is a pre-decided practice with a time, a place, and a person responsible. If it isn't scheduled, stated, and shared, it is sentiment, not a standard. Write it down. Schedule it in your calendar. State it in your home and office. Share it with your gatekeepers. Otherwise, you don't have a value. You have a vibe. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. Plain means operational. Here is the blueprint. Take each core value and convert it into a protocol statement and a practice. Value, honesty. Protocol statement. Honesty is my only policy. Practice. I tell the truth quickly. All corrections go out within 24 hours. No spin. Scheduled. Daily, 2 p.m. Integrity. Check with my assistant any corrections needed. Stated. A one-sentence honesty pledge at the bottom of every email. Share. My team is authorized to stop me mid-sentence if I drift toward exaggeration. That is not theory. That is a drill. Value. Stewardship. Protocol statement. Clean hands. Clear books. No secrets. Practice. Every expense is receipted the same day. No cash in pockets overnight. Schedule. Monday 8 a.m. 2 signature reconciliation. Friday 4:30 p.m. Weekly transparent report to my board chair. Stated, our money moves on paper before it moves in practice. Shared, my spouse and my CFO have full password level visibility. Faithful in little, faithful in much. Luke 16:10. That's Bible becoming behavior. Value, purity, protocol statement, flee first, explain later. Practice, no closed door meetings with the opposite sex. Location visible, time limited, purpose written. Schedule, travel lodging, with a vetted team member on the same floor. All evening meetings end by 9 p.m. Stated, my calendar notes include purpose and attendees. Shared, my gatekeeper has the authority to cancel anything that violates the rule. No apology needed. Joseph didn't negotiate. He ran, Genesis 39:12. That's a protocol. Value, humility. Protocol statement, people over applause. Practice, I answer to truth, not trends. Scheduled weekly 1-hour correction meeting with mentors who can rebuke me. Stated, pre-meeting declaration, facts over feelings. Shared, my communications lead can delay any public post until a second read filters pride. In the multitude of counselors there is safety. Proverbs 11:14. Safety is a protocol. Listen carefully. Never do anything you don't want anyone to find out about. Live loudly. That is not a slogan. That is a surveillance-proof lifestyle. I live as if the camera is already on, because leadership is a loud life. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. Psalm 15:4. That's a man whose protocols hold even when the bill arrives. Write it down. I am not for sale. I do not lie. I do not steal. I do not negotiate my integrity for opportunity. Those are not cute affirmations. Those are pre-commitment clauses in your life contract. Now, from charisma to character. Impressions are moments. Consistency is a monument. Charisma makes people clap. Character makes people trust. Trust is the currency of leadership, and its mint is daily habits. Don't tell me your values, show me your schedule. Don't tell me your standard, show me who can stop you. Don't tell me your ethics, show me your audit trail. Be doers of the word and not hearers only. James 1:22. Doing requires a protocol. Here is your immediate assignment. Write it down. Choose 5 values. For each, draft one sentence that begins, I do not, or I always. Then attach a time, a place, and a person who can enforce it. Post them where you work. Pray them aloud each morning. Review them each night. If it isn't scheduled, stated, and shared, it is sentiment, not a standard. Values don't protect you. Practice values do. When pressure comes, and it will, you will not rise to your intentions. You will default to your training. So train your tomorrow today. Lead with your life. Before we build any more protocols, identify your cliffs. Name your test sites early so you can build fences where the cliff actually is. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. There are only 3 ultimate exams of character: power, money, and access to sex. Every public collapse you have witnessed lives in one of these. Politicians, preachers, or parents. Same 3. You can never disagree with this principle. Samson did not fail because he lacked muscles. He failed because he lacked morals under sexual opportunity. Joseph did not succeed because he had luck. He succeeded because he had locks. He fled and left his coat behind. Genesis 39-12. Power, money, sex. Say it until it sanctifies your schedule. Now hear me. Tests do not make you. Tests reveal you. Each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. James 1:14-15. The exam did not create the answer. It exposed it. Pressure doesn't write your paper. It reads it aloud. So prepare for what will surely come. Build the answer key before the question appears. Daniel purposed in his heart before the platter arrived. Daniel 1-8. That is wisdom. That is war. That is character unchanging. But the big 3 rarely walk in with name tags. They come in proxies. Write these down. Time access is a proxy for power. Whoever controls your calendar controls your character opportunities. Your schedule is a moral document. If flattery can add itself to your day at will, power has a back door. Travel patterns are a proxy for all 3. Hotels at 11 p.m. and flights with accidental layovers create secrecy ecosystems where supervision dies. Screens and DMs are proxies for sex and money. Digital alleys where compliments negotiate and opportunities bypass policy. If you wouldn't say it on a microphone, don't send it with your thumbs. Speech itself is a proxy for power. Secrecy is the smoke that signals a fire of compromise. Whisper culture is where ethics go to die. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Ephesians 5:11. If it must be hidden to survive, it is illegal in your destiny. Now, conduct a ruthless audit. Are you for sale? What is your price? A promotion? A sponsorship? A private dinner with influence attached? If you have a price, someone has your future on layaway. Who are you at 2 a.m.? Not who you post, who you are when the phone glows and the room is quiet. What do you do when no one is watching and everybody's asleep? Which app do you hide? Which trip rearranges your standards? Who has unsupervised access to you that your spouse, your board, or your mentors don't know about? Write it down. There is no such thing as a private life. Say it aloud until your shadows get nervous. Here is a law. Tweet this. Boundaries are designed for where I'm weak, not where I'm strong. The fence doesn't belong on the flat field. It belongs at the cliff. If late night meetings awaken flirtation and evening meetings flee first, explain later. If cash in your hand whispers lies, remove cash handling from your job description. Clean hands, clear books, no secrets. If solo travel intoxicates you with anonymity, don't travel alone. Pair your ticket with a gatekeeper who loves your future more than your feelings. If praise makes you pliable, install a correction meeting where truth rebukes applause. Watch and pray lest you enter into temptation. Matthew 26:41. Watch means anticipate the ambush. Pray means strengthen the will. Do both. Power will come authority, voice, decision, rights, money will move, budgets, gifts, reimbursements. Sexual opportunity will circle compliments, curiosities, invitations. Do not act surprised. Act prepared. No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But with the temptation will also make the way of escape. 1 Corinthians 10:13. The way of escape is a pre-installed exit your protocol. If Joseph's legs were his policy, your calendar can be your policy. Your 2-signature finance rule can be your policy. Your glass door meetings can be your policy. Your public reporting habit can be your policy. So, name your test sites today. Don't put a lock on a wall. Put it on a door. Identify the door. Power, money, sex. Then trace their proxies in your patterns. Time travel, screens, speech. Build the fence at the cliff. Because when the wind of opportunity blows, and it will, only the boundaries you place at your weakest edges will keep your image whole and your dominion safe. Lead with your life. Boundary 1, access. Guard your gates or lose your garden. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse. A spring shut up. A fountain sealed. Song of Solomon 4:12. Enclosed. Shut up. Sealed. That is access management. Eden had a fence and a rule. Nehemiah set guards at the gates and said, do not open the gates of Jerusalem until the sun is hot, and while they stand guard, let them shut and bar the doors. Nehemiah 7:3. That's office hours in the Bible. That's daylight meetings with watchmen present. You can never disagree with that principle. Your calendar is a moral document. Whoever controls your time shapes your life. Write it down. You can show me your bank statement and I'll guess your values, but show me your calendar and I'll know your character. Access is influence. Control access and you control influence on you and through you. Jesus modeled it. He had crowds, 70, 12, 3, and then 1, the Father. There were tears. He did not commit himself to them, for he knew what was in man, John 2:24-25. If the Son of God managed access, why do you think you can run open gates? So here's your protocol. Office hours, set them and post them. Daylight is your friend. Let's schedule during daylight with a third person present. Practice that phrase until your mouth moves before you're moved. Tweet this. No is my first protection. I meet in glass. If there's no window, it's not wisdom. Choose rooms with visibility, not secrecy. Place chairs where cameras can see and colleagues can pass. No unscheduled after hours one-on-ones. If someone says, it's urgent, your protocol replies, then it can wait until we are in the light with witnesses. If it cannot survive the light, it is illegal in your destiny. Digitally, your phone is not a public door. It is a receptionist. Auto-reply your DMs with a professional channel and a gatekeeper. No anonymous inbox chaos. Every meeting on the calendar must have 3 things: purpose, people, and a stop time. If it isn't scheduled, stated, and shared, it is sentiment, not a standard. My assistant has veto power. If it violates the access code, it disappears, no apology required. Honesty is my only policy, and access protocols protect my honesty. Travel is where access gets slippery, so concreted. Never share rides with strangers who carry influence over your future. Pre-approved drivers, receipts on file, routes visible. Never debrief in late-night lobbies. The devil works overtime in velvet chairs at 11:30 p.m. All post-event conversations happen in well-lit public spaces with your team present. Hotel floors, team on the same floor when possible. Elevators, if it's late, ride with your gatekeeper or do not ride. Keys, your key card is your covenant. No exchanges, no drop-bys, no exceptions. If your flight lands after 10 p.m., your calendar's closed, no meetings, no coffee, no 5 minutes. Flee first, explain later includes travel spontaneity. It's not rude, it's righteous. Now, relational tiers. Jesus had them, so must you. Write them down. Tier 1, God and covenant family. Full access, full hours. Tier 2, covenant friends. Those who love your soul more than your shine. Access, yes, but still scheduled. Tier 3, advisors and associates appointments only. Agenda-driven, visible spaces. Tier 4, partners and clients. Professional boundaries. Documented communication. Group settings. Tier 5, fans and followers. They get content, not contact. No private counseling and inboxes. No spiritual direction via secret chats. Put this sentence on your website and voicemail. For your safety and mine, I conduct all meetings by appointment in visible spaces and with a colleague present. That's love. That's law. That's leadership. Practice your phrases. Say them with me. No is my first protection. Again, let's schedule during daylight with a third person present. Again, I meet in glass. Again, please route this through my assistant. Every meeting goes on the calendar with a purpose and an end time. Leaders don't just believe in boundaries, they speak them. Your vocabulary becomes your valve. Control your phrases and you control your flow. Ask yourself right now, who has unsupervised access to me? Whose name can alter my day without permission? Are you a convenience store leader open 24/7 to anything that knocks? Even 7-Eleven closes somewhere. Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. Guard is a gate word. Diligence is a schedule word. Set the locks. Assignment, do it now. Publish your office hours. Move your meetings to glass. Install an auto reply that routes strangers to systems. Empower a gatekeeper to say no for you. Draft your travel code in 3 lines and hand it to your team. Color code your relational tiers and align your time accordingly. Image must govern. Access or dominion will invite disaster. Guard your gates or lose your garden. And when the doors swing open, and they will, your gates will decide who gets in, what gets out, and whether your garden blooms or burns. Lead with your life. Boundary 2, money. Clean hands, clear books, no secrets. Say it out loud, write it down, tweet that to somebody right now. Money doesn't change you, it exposes you. You can never disagree with that principle. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Proverbs 11:1. God inspects scales. Trust is built on integrity, and integrity is proven where numbers touch nerves. Jesus said you cannot serve God and mammon. Matthew 6:24. He didn't say you shouldn't, he said you cannot. So choose your master now and then make your money obey. Predetermine how money moves, so temptation never has room to negotiate. That is the law. Protocols are your pre-decisions. Here they are, write them down. Double signature accounts. No single person can move funds. Not the leader, not the CFO. 2 signatures or no spend. You are not above the rule, you are beneath it for safety. No cash honorariums. If it cannot produce a tax compliant receipt, it cannot touch my hand. Independent audits. Externalize. Not your cousin and not your comfort. Quarterly reviews, annual audit, summary published to your board. Providing for honest things. Not only in the sight of the Lord, but also in the sight of men. 2 Corinthians 8:21. That's Bible for audits. Gift policy written, simple, public. Thresholds matter. Example, gifts under $50 may be received and logged. $50, $500 must be declared and reviewed by compliance. Above $500 require pre-approval or mandatory decline with a thank you note. Everyone signs the policy staff. Volunteers, you. If a donor says no strings, your policy replies, all gifts have paperwork. Clean hands, clear books, no secrets. Compensation clarity protects your soul. Publish your rates. Put it on your website. No backroom deals. No blessings in an envelope. All payments are invoice only with net terms stated in writing. Every transaction gets a tax compliant receipt. Render therefore to all their dues. Romans 13:7. If Caesar can't see it, you shouldn't receive it. My phrases, practice them until they live in your mouth. I don't touch unreceipted money. Again, invoice me or it's a no. Again, please route all honorariums through finance. I never receive cash. Leaders don't just love purity, they standardize it. Separation of roles is holy. You do purpose. Your team handles payments. You deliver value. Your systems deliver invoices. If someone tries to slide a handshake blessing backstage, you smile. Point them to your finance lead and keep your fingers off the envelope. No backstage exchanges. No lobby deals. No trunk of the car thank yous. If it must be secret to happen, it is illegal for your destiny. Paul said, I have coveted no man's silver or gold or apparel. Acts 20:33. Make that your confession and your protocol. Schedule your stewardship. Monday, 8 a.m., 2 signature reconciliation against bank fees. Wednesday, 2 p.m., invoice aging review and collections by someone not named you. Friday, 4:30 p.m., weekly financial snapshot to your accountability chair. Income, expenses, exceptions, monthly board finance call with written minutes, quarterly external accountant review, annually independent audit and summary letter to stakeholders. If it isn't scheduled, stated, and shared, it is sentiment, not a standard. Now the stress test. The event ends. The organizer whispers, "We like to bless privately," and pushes a thick envelope into your palm. Your protocol speaks, "Thank you for your generosity, for your safety and mine. Please give that to our finance team." I don't touch unreceipted money. If they say we don't do invoices, your covenant answers, "Invoice me," or it's a no. Another test. A donor offers to buy you a small gift, a luxury watch, just because. Your policy replies, "Thank you, but our threshold requires review. Please email compliance." A sponsor proposes, "We'll double your fee if you mention our product off the record." Your character smiles. "Honesty is my only policy. All partnerships are disclosed or declined." Tweet that. Remember the law of Jesus. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. If ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? Lukustoista, kymenen yksitoista. Money is a training ground for trust. If your books are clean, your hands can carry glory. If your receipts are righteous, your reputation will outrun rumors. There is no such thing as a private life, especially in finance. Live loudly. Publish your standards. Empower your gatekeepers to enforce them against your impulses. Assignment, do it now. Draft your written gift policy with thresholds and approvals. Move to invoice-only payments. Post your rates. Convert all honorariums to electronic or check the receipts, no cash. Install double signatures on every account. Engage an independent auditor and calendar your reviews for the year. Train your mouth with these phrases until they are muscle memory. I don't touch unreceipted money. Invoice me, or it's a no. Because when the doors swing open, and they will, the way your money moves will either betray you or protect you. Choose protection. Clean hands. Clear books. No secrets. Lead with your life. Boundary 3, intimacy. Flee first. Explain later. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. 2 men faced the same exam. Samson stayed, Joseph ran. One lost his eyes and his destiny in Delilah's lap. The other kept his dream by leaving his coat in Potiphar's wife's hand. Judges 16, Genesis 39 to 12. Same opportunity, different boundary. You can never disagree with that principle. Flee also youthful lust. 2 Timothy 2:22. God didn't say debate them. He said flee. Proximity predicts failure. Engineer distance. So desire never becomes decision. Let me define a law. Attraction is not a sin. Accommodation is. Tweet that. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Proverbs 6:27. Fire belongs in a fireplace, not in your shirt. So put the fire in a frame. Protocols. Never alone behind closed doors. If there is no window, it is not wisdom. Blinds open, doors cracked. Third person present for counseling or coaching always. Your phrases must be ready like Joseph's legs. Practice them until they are muscle memory. Let's invite a third person. I'll step out now and reschedule appropriately. If you ever find yourself suddenly alone and the atmosphere shifts, do not negotiate. Initiate the exit. Flee first, explain later. Schedule your purity. If it isn't scheduled, stated, and shared, it is sentiment, not a standard. Meetings with the opposite sex, daylight hours, public spaces, documented purpose, and a visible time limit. Glass offices are not decoration, they are deliverance. If a door must be shut for confidentiality, you add a human window or colleague seated within earshot. Coaching, couples or groups whenever possible. If one-on-one is required, add a chaperone. Your assistant is authorized to walk in at any time. If that bothers you, your motives require ministry. Abstain from all appearance of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. Appearance is public. Holiness loves visibility. Travel is where intimacy ambushes leaders. So concrete it Itinerary shared in advance with your spouse or primary overseer flights, hotels, meeting blocks, and recovery time. Adjacent rooms with your accountability partner when traveling. Same floor, doors visible to the hallway camera. No late night room visits. Not for prayer. Not for processing. Not for 5 minutes. Hotel lobbies at 11:30 p.m. Grow devils in velvet chairs? Close your calendar after 9 p.m. If an urgent conversation is requested, your protocol answers, let's connect tomorrow with a third person present. No ride shares with admirers. No accidental seat changes to sit closer. No last minute dinner add-ons without approval from your gatekeeper. Remember Joseph. Remember Samson. Proximity predicts failure. Digital is a bedroom with 1 billion doors. Shut most of them. No private DMs. I'll say it again. No private DMs. Auto reply routes everything to public or group threads managed by your team. Move any private exchange to a shared channel within 3 messages or end the conversation. Auto delete and block flirty contacts. Don't archive temptation. Annihilate it. Your phone belongs to your future. So your spouse or your accountability lead has passcodes by policy, not by crisis. Screenshots save reputations. Assume the camera is already on. Make no provision for the flesh to fulfill its lusts. Romans 13:14. Provision is a plan, so is prevention. Train your mouth to lead your body. Phrases are fences. For your safety and mine, we'll meet with the blinds open. Let's invite a third person. I'll step out now and reschedule appropriately. Please loop my assistant. All counseling is scheduled and witnessed. Say them now so you don't have to think later. Joseph didn't think, he ran. Holy reflexes save destinies. Ask yourself, who has private, unlogged access to me? Which app is my unattended alley? Which trip turns my standards into suggestions? If you blush to tell your spouse or you're bored about a conversation, location, or time, your conscience is already calling security. There is no such thing as a private life. Live loudly. This is the will of God, even your sanctification, that each of you should know how to possess his own vessel in sanctification and honor. 1 Thessalonians 4:3-4. Possess your vessel with policies, not promises. Assignment, do it now. Publish your intimacy protocol, glass meetings, third person rule, daylight hours only, and open blinds. Share your travel code with your spouse and team. Adjacent rooms, no late night visits, itineraries disclosed. Install digital fences today. No private DMs, group threads only. Block and delete flirtation on first contact. Empower your gatekeepers to end any meeting that violates the rule. Because when the door swings open, and it will distance, will preserve your destiny. Flee first, explain later. Lead with your life. Boundary 4, speech. Honesty is my only policy. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. Character is the weight of your words. If your words are light, your leadership is light. You can never disagree with that principle. Lying lips are abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. Proverbs 12:22. God measures leaders with a scale called truth. If your mouth is inconsistent, your image is cracked. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. Matthew 5:37. That's policy, not poetry. Speech is stewardship. Words are contracts. Every sentence is an invoice. Your character must pay. So install protocols. No off-the-record promises ever. If a conversation requires secrecy to survive, it is illegal in your destiny. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. Luke 8:17. Record minutes for every decision-making meeting. Confirm decisions in writing within 24 hours. Public calendar, your key meetings, topic, attendees, time, because visibility is virtue. If it can't handle a calendar entry, it cannot handle your calling. Now, the covenant. 2-4 hour confession. Correct misstatements. Immediately, truth now is cheaper than truth later. Practice the phrase until it owns your tongue. Let me correct that. If you overstated a win on stage, email the correction tonight and post the clarification tomorrow. If you misstated a number in the boardroom, issue an amended note before breakfast. David said, I acknowledge my sin unto thee, and thou forgavest. Psalm 32:5. Speed is humility. Delay is pride. Tweet this. Tell the truth quickly, and your reputation will run faster than rumors. Install a zero gossip covenant. Gossip is counterfeit leadership, managing impressions without mending people. Where no wood is, there the fire goeth out. So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceaseth. Proverbs 26:20. If you are not part of the problem or the solution, you are part of the pollution. Address issues at the source or stay silent. Your phrase, I don't do secrets. Again, put that in writing. If someone says, between us, your protocol answers. For your safety and mine, let's include the right people and document decisions. Matthew 18:15 commands private, direct confrontation, not public, indirect commentary. Go to your brother, not to your fan club. Operationalize your mouth. Every meeting has a scribe. Every decision produces a written summary. What, who, when. Every key call ends with, I'll send a recap to confirm. Your team is trained to post minutes in a shared drive by end of day. No rogue statements by staff, media, and public comments route through your communications policy. Your public calendar lists standing meetings with stakeholders, finance, ethics, board, so anyone can see that oversight isn't a rumor, it's a rhythm. Providing for honest things in the sight of men. 2 Corinthians 8:21. Integrity loves witnesses. Now, the stress test. Adonis says, we'll support you, but keep our requests off the record. Your character replies, I don't do secrets. Put that in writing. A colleague states a half-truth about a teammate. Your policy interrupts. Let me correct that, and let's bring them in so we speak with, not about. You accidentally misquote a statistic in a podcast. Before dinner, you post the correction, tag the source, and thank the audience for allowing accuracy to lead. Leaders are not perfect. Leaders are prompt. Train your mouth daily. Proverbs 10:19 warns, in the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Reduce volume, increase veracity, fewer sentences, heavier sentences. Phrases are your fences. Say them until they fit. Let me correct that. Put that in writing. I don't do secrets. I'll send a written recap. Please copy the team. When pressure comes, and you will default to your training, not your intentions. Assignment, do it now. Draft your speech protocol. No off-the-record promises. Minutes for every decision. 2 4-hour correction rule. Public calendar for key oversight meetings. And a zero gossip covenant signed by all staff. Appoint a scribe for each meeting and schedule same-day summaries. Add a weekly truth audit where you review public statements for accuracy and issue corrections proactively. Because when the doors swing open, and they will, your words will carry your world. Tell the truth quickly, and your reputation will outrun every rumor. Lead with your life. Boundary 5, platform, fame with a filter, not a funnel. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. The crowd should touch your gift, not your soul. Applause is a test, and so is attack. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold. So is a man to his praise. Proverbs 27:21. Fame heats your metal. Without a filter, you melt. You can never disagree with that principle. If platform is a funnel, everything gets in and everything gets out unprocessed, unprotected. If platform is a filter, only what aligns with your image, your character, passes both ways. Image before dominion includes image before influence, image before impressions, image before inboxes. Protocols now. No DMs alone ever. Your platform is a public square, not a secret alley. Auto reply routes all private messages to a monitored professional channel. Comments are filtered by a trained team. You do not graze the field of flattery or the swamp of slander. Your soul is not a suggestion box. Schedule your platform, or your platform will schedule you. Digital Sabbath, 1 day a week, no posting, no scrolling, no replies. Jesus often withdrew into the wilderness and prayed, Luke 5:16. If the Son of God can leave the crowd to keep his core, you can close the app to keep your soul. After 9 p.m., thumbs go to sleep. No posts, no replies. Darkness breeds drama. Daylight loves due diligence. Practice the phrase until it is reflex. Send it to my team. When in doubt, route. Opportunity ethics. Listen very carefully. If a stage requires you to mute your values, it is not your stage. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. Proverbs 29-25. Safety is in fidelity, not in followers. Some invitations are nets with microphones attached. They say, can you not mention Jesus? Can you avoid that unpopular conviction? Can you soften that standard for our audience? Your covenant replies out loud and in writing. I don't negotiate values for opportunities. Tweet that. If pearls require mud to be marketable, keep your pearls. Do not cast your pearls before swine. Matthew 7-6. Better a smaller room with your soul intact than a stadium with your spine removed. Write it down. Content covenant. Pre-approve your message lanes. Topics, tone, and boundaries must be decided before adrenaline and anger show up with a login. Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. James 1:19. No hot takes under heat. Draft under emotion. Publish under peace. 24-hour cooling rule for controversy. Verification before amplification. Facts, sources, and scripture. Then speak. Your phrases are fences. Send it to my team. I don't negotiate values for opportunities. If it isn't in the covenant, it isn't in the caption. By your words, you will be justified, and by your words, you will be condemned. Matthew 12:37. Platforms record. Character must edit. Stress test time. A trending scandal demands your instant response. Your covenant says, we wait, we verify, we respond in the morning with witnesses. An influencer drags your name to bait engagement. Your policy answers, silence is also speech. We choose stewardship over sparring. A network offers national exposure, but edits out everything that makes you truthful. Your character smiles. I don't negotiate values for opportunities, and you bless them as you decline. Another test. A viral compliment thread tempts you to swim in your own praise at midnight. Your gatekeeper moves you to bed because praise is sugar addictive and empty. Your soul eats scripture, not comments. Operationalize your filter. Appoint a communications lead with authority to schedule, approve, and decline posts. Install comment moderation with keyword blocks and escalation rules. Publish posting windows weekdays, daytime, with a second set of eyes before anything goes live. Draft monthly content around pre-approved pillars so you are proactive, not reactive. Create exit clauses in every media contract, no edits that violate truth, no bait and switch appearances, and the right to withdraw without penalty. If it isn't scheduled, stated, and shared, it is sentiment, not a standard. Assignment, do it now. Write your content covenant. 5 message lanes you will carry. 3 no-go zones you will never touch. And a 2-4-hour cooling rule for controversy. Set your digital Sabbath day and post it publicly. Enforce the after 9 p.m. blackout on posts and replies. Turn on auto replies that route all DMs to your team. Build a stage checklist. Values disclosed. Topics clear. Edit rights protected. Exit clause signed. Train your mouth and your thumbs with these phrases until they are muscle memory. Send it to my team. I don't negotiate values for opportunities. Curate what reaches you and what leaves you, so platform never puppeteers your convictions. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. A light on a stand, not a fire without a hearth. Lead with your life. Gatekeepers and agreements put steel in your system. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. We have installed boundaries. Now we install enforcement. A lock without a guard is a suggestion. You can never disagree with that principle. In the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Proverbs 11:14. Safety is not a feeling. Safety is a structure. Boundaries become real when trusted people can enforce them against your impulses. Choose your gatekeepers carefully, 2 or 3, not 12. Quality over quantity. They must fear God more than they fear losing access to you. They cannot be fans. They must be friends of your future. Appoint your spouse, your board chair or ethics officer, and your chief of staff. These three form your triangle of truth. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Proverbs 27:6. If they can't wound you, they can't heal you. Write this down. If they can't correct you, they can't protect you. Tweet that. Give them veto power in writing. Veto over your calendar. Veto over your travel. Veto over your money movements. Veto over your media engagements. You are not above the rule. You are beneath it for protection. Now, ink the boundaries. Ink is a conscience you can see. Draft and sign 4 covenants: access policy, finance policy, travel policy, and communications policy. Everyone signs them. You, your spouse, where appropriate, your executives, your board. Access policy says who sees you, when, and how. Third person rule: glass meetings, no unscheduled drop-ins, after 9 p.m. blackout. Finance policy establishes double signatures, invoice-only payments, audits, and gift thresholds. Travel policy locks itineraries, adjacent rooms, no late-night meetings, and pre-approved companions. Communications policy declares no private DMs, a 2 4-hour correction rule, content lanes, and cooling off windows. Matthew 18:16 says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. Build witnesses into your policies. No major decision without 2 signatures and a written record. Post what you can publicly. Transparency enforces itself. Put summaries of your standards on your website. The gift thresholds, the third person rule, the digital Sabbath, the after 9 p.m. blackout, the audit schedule. Publish a compliance email that routes to a gatekeeper, not to you report at your organization. Providing for honest things, not only in the sight of the Lord, but also in the sight of men. 2 Corinthians 8:21. Visibility is virtue. When people know the rule, violators become visible. Give correction authority explicitly. Your gatekeepers can stop you mid-sentence. They can end a meeting. They can cancel a trip. They can pull a post. They have your passcodes by policy, not by panic. Stage rule. Your chief of staff holds a red card. If they raise it, you pause and submit. If that embarrasses you, your pride is already your prison. Moses needed Aaron and Hur to hold up his hands, Exodus 17:12. Even miracles require management. Create a consequence ladder now, not later. Mercy is powerful when it is pre-planned. Level 1, first breach. Immediate disclosure to your gatekeepers. Written confession within 24 hours. Retraining on the violated policy and a brief loss of privilege connected to the breach. Level 2, second breach within 12 months. Suspension from public duties for a defined period. A public acknowledgement if the breach was public. Mandatory counseling or coaching. And temporary loss of decision rights in that policy domain. Level 3, non-negotiable exit for severe breaches, financial deception, sexual compromise, chronic lying. You step down. You submit to independent review. You make restitution where applicable, and you do not negotiate your return. Galatians 6:1 calls us to restore, but restoration begins with truth and boundaries. Write it, sign it, date it. Build escalation pathways. If your chief of staff confronts you and you resist, the issue escalates to the ethics officer or board chair within 24 hours. If you resist the board, the matter moves to an external advisor named in the policy. No stalemates. No private arbitration in your soul. I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. 1 Corinthians 9:27. Subjection is submission with signatures. Operationalize authority. Give your gatekeepers calendar control with power to decline unsanctioned requests. Connect your bank notifications to the finance gatekeeper. Require 2 approvals for any policy exception and log it in an exceptions register reviewed monthly by the board. No private exceptions. Exceptions are events, not habits. Require 2 witnesses on sensitive meetings and record time, location, and purpose. Decisions produce minutes. Minutes produce memory. Memory protects integrity. Stress test the system. A sponsor pressures you privately to bend a standard. Your gatekeeper reads the policy and declines on your behalf. You express disappointment, but you do not overrule. Why? Because you already overruled yourself when you signed. A late night text slips through. Your spouse and chief of staff see the message history by policy, not by suspicion, and they reply with a group thread that ends the ambiguity. A network edits your convictions out of a segment. Your communications lead invokes the exit clause you already signed and pulls the appearance. You sleep in peace because your system kept your soul. Assignment, do it now. Name your 2 or 3 gatekeepers and write a 1-sentence grant of veto. You have veto over me in access, money, travel, and communication. Use it, draft, sign, and date your 4 covenants. Publish what is appropriate on your website. Establish your consequence ladder and brief your entire leadership team. Install escalation pathways with timelines. Give your gatekeepers the tools, calendar control, passcodes, notification rights. Because when the doors swing open and they will steal, will keep you standing. If they can't correct you, they can't protect you. Lead with your life. Stress rehearsals, practice your no until it's muscle memory. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. When pressure arrives, you will default to your training, not your intentions. You can never disagree with that principle. Athletes don't rise to the occasion. They fall to the level of their practice. Pilots rehearse engine failure on the ground so they don't panic in the air. Leaders must drill integrity in peace to survive in pressure. By reason of use, the scripture says, their senses are exercised to discern both good and evil. Hebrews 5:14. Use trains discernment. Use builds reflex. Daniel purposed in his heart before he faced the king's table. Daniel 1-8. Purpose first, pressure later. Schedule a weekly integrity lab with your team. 15 minutes, non-negotiable. Role play moral hypotheticals until your phrases fit like a seatbelt. Assign 3 roles: tempter, leader, observer. The tempter crafts a realistic offer. The leader responds using only approved phrases and protocols. The observer scores delay, drift, and deviation. Then debrief with 3 questions. What phrase saved us? Where did we hesitate? Which policy closed the door? Record findings. Update scripts. Repeat. Exercise yourself unto godliness. 1 Timothy 4-7. Godliness is a muscle. Script your mouth now. Phrases are your fences. For money, thank you. Our policy requires all gifts be receipted and processed by finance. I cannot accept personal funds. Please email finance at, and they'll issue a receipt for power. Opportunities go through my team. If we must mute convictions, we must decline. Put that in writing. For sex, for your safety and mine, all meetings are scheduled, witnessed, and in public spaces. Let's add a 3rd person or we'll reschedule. For speech, let me correct that. I don't do secrets. Please copy the team. Memorize them until your tongue moves before your tears. What you rehearse, you repeat under pressure. Write it down. Tweet that. Record a personal vow audio today. 30 to 60 seconds. Your own voice. Straight at your soul. Load it on your phone. Play it before trips, big meetings, and every late night. Sample. I am not for sale. Image before dominion. Honesty is my only policy. My body is a temple, not a tool. I flee first, explain later. I do not do secrets. I route all gifts to finance. I travel in light. I meet in glass. I post in daylight. I honor my spouse, my board, my God. My gatekeepers can overrule me. I choose truth at the speed of light. Lead with your life. David spoke to his soul, so must you. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? We hope thou in God, Psalm 42-5. Your voice can pastor your impulses. Now the drills, do them out loud. Door knock at 11:30 p.m. Hotel hallway, a soft voice. Can we talk? It's urgent. You stand behind the door, phone on speaker with your accountability partner, and say, for your safety and mine, I don't meet at night. Email my assistant, we'll meet at 9 a.m. with a 3rd person present. Then you text the log to your gatekeeper. Drill 2 backstage envelope. Someone slips you an unreceipted gift, a little blessing, no paperwork. You smile, hands behind your back. Our policy requires all gifts go through finance. I cannot accept this. Please send it to finance, and they will receipt and thank you appropriately. You do not touch the envelope. You call your finance lead. Decision produces minutes. Minutes produce memory. Memory protects integrity. Drill 330 DM. You looked amazing tonight. Wish we could talk privately. Your auto reply routes to the team. You manually reply once. For your safety and mine, we communicate in group channels. Please email info@ with your request. Then you block and delete. No archives or temptation. Provision is a plan. Prevention is too. Add pressure to your practice. Use a timer 60 seconds to respond. If your answer takes longer, your desire is negotiated. Add noise, crowd chatter, stage hands, blinking notifications because real life is messy. Train until your no survives chaos. Jesus said, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. Matthew 26-41. Watching is rehearsal. Praying is power. Operationalize the rhythm. Create a drill log with date, scenario, phrase used, and improvement notes. Rotate who plays tempter so your team learns how temptation sounds in different accents. Pity, praise, pressure. Before every trip, play your vow audio, review your 3 phrases, and run 1 drill in the car. Before bedtime, run the 11:30 p.m. Knock drill aloud. When the call comes, and it will, your spirit won't scroll for courage. It will execute protocol. The prudent sees evil and hides himself. Proverbs 22-3. Hiding is a skill you can practice. Assignment, do it now. Put Integrity Lab on your calendar every week. Write and memorize your money, power, and sex phrases. Record your vow audio and set reminders. Pre-flight, pre-stage, 10 p.m. nightly. Run the 3 drills this week with your team on speaker. Because when pressure arrives, you will default to your training, not your intentions. Train your no until it moves faster than your need. Lead with your life. Emergency protocol when a boundary is breached. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. The question is not if pressure will come. The question is what you will do when your foot slips. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. But whoso confesseth and forsaketh shall have mercy. Proverbs 28-13. You can never disagree with that principle. Mercy moves at the speed of confession. Judgment moves at the speed of concealment. Fast truth and firm consequences. Shrink the fallout and start real restoration. Step 1, stop the bleeding. Freeze the scene. If it's money, freeze the account and the card. If it's access or intimacy, end the meeting immediately. Leave the location and notify your gatekeeper from a public place. If it's speech, post a holding line. We are reviewing. A correction will be issued within 24 hours. Then go silent. Sin multiplies in motion. Integrity begins with a full stop. Be sure your sin will find you out. Numbers 32-23. Better you find it than it finds you on the evening news. Step 2, confess within 24 hours. First to your gatekeepers, then to those affected. James 5:16 says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. Healing requires honesty. Use the incident format. Write it down. What boundary, when, where, who, evidence attached, immediate harms, proposed restitution, no adjectives, no excuses, no passive voice. Sample sentence. I breached our access policy at 10:42 p.m. by meeting alone behind closed doors with name. I have notified my gatekeepers and recused myself from related duties. Document and route it to report at the public compliance inbox you establish. Integrity loves witnesses. Step 3, invoke the consequence plan you already signed. Tweet that. If you must sign it when you're strong, you must submit when you're weak. Sabbatical trigger pulled. Counseling requirement activated. Independent financial audit initiated if money touched. Program paused if platform was used. You don't negotiate penalties with your pain. You obey the policy you wrote in peace. I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. 1 Corinthians 9:27. Subjection is submission with signatures. Step 4, restitution and reset. Zacchaeus said, if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. Luke 19:8. Restoration is not feelings. Restoration is repayment. Return unauthorized funds with receipts. Repair reputations you injured with equal volume, public wound, public bandage. If intimacy lines were crossed, fund counseling for the affected party and let third party cannot you communicate logistics. You step back from the platform proactively. Better to descend by decision than be dragged by exposure. Step 5, principles over PR. Fall on truth, not spin. Issue a clear statement within 24 hours if the breach is public. I sinned, I violated, name, policy. I have stepped back for time under our consequence plan. An independent review has begun. I ask forgiveness from names. No excuses. David prayed, against thee, thee only have I sinned. Psalm 51:4. Own it vertically. State it plainly. Repair it tangibly. Spin is delay. Delay is decay. Godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation not to be repented of. 2 Corinthians 7:10. Tears without terms are theater. Rebuild by law, not by likes. Likes are applause. Law is alignment. Submit to your board, your counselors, your audits, your spouse, your God. Galatians 6:1 commands, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness. Restoration is a process, not a post. Publish milestones only when verified. Audit complete. Restitution issued. Counseling attended. Training repeated. No countdowns to combat. No surprise stages. If trust was lost in months, expect years. Write it down. Practice the phrases that save your future. I breached the policy. Here is my written confession. I am stepping back under our consequence plan. Independent review is underway. I will not comment beyond our statement. Restitution has been made. Receipts are available. Honesty is my only policy. Image before dominion, even in failure. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us. 1 John 1-9. Forgiveness is instant. Cleansing is a journey. Take the journey. Lead with your life. Daily audit, the 2 a.m. integrity check. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. Small daily locks prevent the big public breaks that ruin decades. You can never disagree with that principle. The scripture commands, examine yourselves, 2 Corinthians 13:5. And the Shamer declares, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, Deuteronomy 6:4. If he is one, you must be one. Integrity is oneness. Collapse your public and your private every night until there is nothing to hide and no one to pretend to be. There is no such thing as a private life. Who are you at 2 a.m.? Make it a meeting, not a mood. 10 minutes, same chair, same light, phone on airplane mode, journal open, covenant binder beside it. Pray aloud. Search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there be any wicked way in me. Psalm 139:23. 2:4. Then ask the 3 tests: power, money, sex. Write it down in ink every night. Where did power try to enter today? Who praised me, pressured me, or pushed for special access? Did I use my position to skip a policy? Where did money try to enter? Any unreceived gifts? Any blurred expenses? Did I rationalize a small exception? Where did sex try to enter? Any flirt, fantasy, or secret window? Did proximity become permission? Don't decorate it, document it. Now the access log. Who did I meet alone? Was the third person rule honored? Did I step into a closed door or dim corner? What did I touch that wasn't mine? Funds, favors, passwords, bodies, or boundaries? What did I watch? I wouldn't project on a screen in my living room with my children and my board present. If you wouldn't project it, you can't digest it. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. Run the 5 boundary scan quickly, yes or no, with 1 line of evidence. Were my gates guarded, or did I drift into unscheduled, unwitnessed moments? Money. Are today's transactions receipted, reconciled, reviewed? Any cash in pocket that belongs in finance? Intimacy. Did I flee first and explain later, or did I linger in the doorway of curiosity? Speech. Did I tell the truth quickly, correct an error, and avoid hot takes under heat? Platform. Did I post within my covenant lanes, or did the crowd puppeteer my convictions? If any answer stings, you circle it. You text your gatekeeper. Flag at 14. 32. Action taken. Rescheduled in public. Finance notified. Honesty is my only policy. Pruning is love for your future. What do I need to remove tonight? An app you can't use without lying. Delete it. A number that breathes like a trap. Block it. An environment that melts your spine. Change it. Move rooms. Move seats. Move habits. Provision is a plan. Prevention is too. Jesus said, if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. Matthew 5:30. Better a smaller digital world than a shattered destiny. Write it down. Prune nightly, not yearly. Tweet that. Now celebrate small wins. Consistency compounds character the way interest compounds money. That's a law. You can never disagree with a law. Did you route the gift to finance? Applaud the muscle. Did you refuse the midnight message? Give thanks. Did you correct your words before dinner? Worship. Faithfulness is not famous. Faithfulness is cumulative. Let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord. Lamentations 3:40. Turn nightly and you won't need to turn publicly. Close with oneness. Read the Shema aloud. The Lord our God is one. Then vow, I am one. I am the same man in the dark and in the day. Image before dominion. Send a 2-line summary to your spouse or gatekeeper. Daily audit complete. Access clear. Money receipted. Intimacy fled. Speech corrected at 3:10 p.m. Platform within lanes. Visibility is virtue. Peace follows proof. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. Psalm 48. Assignment. Do it now. Put 2 a.m. Integrity. Check on your calendar for the next 30 days. Use the triad questions. Log the 5 boundaries. Prune one thing nightly. Celebrate one win nightly. Small daily locks prevent the big public breaks that ruin decades. Lead with your life. Now we seal it. Covenant close. Lock yourself in the prison of your convictions. Write it down. Tweet that to somebody right now. Greatness doesn't need more doors, just stronger locks. Rewrite that in your journal. Greatness doesn't need more doors, just stronger locks. Why? Because principles are laws. They never change. Doors without locks are invitations to thieves. If the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched Luke 12:39. Watch with a covenant. God with a vow. Say this with me aloud out of your own mouth. Because your tongue trains your life. I do not lie. I do not steal. I do not sleep with anyone who is not my spouse. I lead with my life. Again, slower, stronger, because vows are bricks. I do not lie. I do not steal. I do not sleep with anyone who is not my spouse. I lead with my life. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Matthew 5:37. Psalm 15 says, the one who will dwell on God's holy hill is the one that sweareth to his own hurt and change it not. That's covenant. That's steel in your spine. Honesty is my only policy. Write it down. Tweet that. Now ink it. Sign and share your boundary covenant with your gatekeepers today, not tomorrow. 5 headings. Dated and initial. Access third-person rule. Glass meetings. After 9 p.m. blackout. Money, double signatures, receipt-only gifts, quarterly audits, intimacy, no private DMs, public spaces, flee first, explain later, speech truth quickly, correction within 24 hours, no secrets in communication, platform, content, lanes, cooling off windows, conviction before clicks. Add consequences under each heading, not in pencil but in pen. Date to start, date to review. Sign your name and give it to your spouse, your board chair or ethics officer, and your chief of staff. Ecclesiastes 5:4 warns, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it. Payment is obedience with signatures. Subjection is submission with signatures. You already overruled yourself when you signed. Read the Shema. Then read your covenant aloud in front of your gatekeepers. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Deuteronomy 6:4. Then declare, I am one. I am the same man in the dark and in the day. Image before dominion. Genesis 1:26 still stands. God gave image before dominion. Tweet that. You can never disagree with that principle. Dominion without image is demolition. Power will expose you. Character will carry you. Final audit before we dismiss. Are you for sale? Don't answer cheap with your mouth. Answer costly with your calendar and your covenant. Who are you at 2 a.m.? Not the curated you, the crisis you. Will your image carry your dominion when the doors swing open? Or will dominion crush you because your image is clay? Ask Joseph. Ask Samson. Both gifted. One gated. One gaping. One fled. One flirted. One ruled nations. One lost eyes. Flee first, explain later. Write it down. Lock yourself in the prison of your convictions. I call it freedom with bars. A ship is safest when it is anchored. An unanchored ship is a headline. Statues don't move in storms. That's why we call them statues. Character is a statue unchanging. A is always A in Africa, in Asia, at 2 a.m. in an airport lounge. Be a living statue. Be one. Lead with your life. Here is your charge. Do it now. Copy your covenant into your journal under the line you just wrote. Greatness doesn't need more doors, just stronger locks. Sign it. Date it. Email the PDF to your gatekeepers with permission to publish summaries as needed. Put the review date on your calendar every 6 months. Place the consequence ladder beneath your signature and write this sentence. I consent to these consequences without negotiation. Then stand up. Walk to your safe or your top drawer and store a printed copy where the weight of paper reminds you that paper is stronger than passion. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, Joshua 24-15. I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Choose life, choose locks. Install them before the spotlight arrives. Because the spotlight does not make you strong. It only makes you seen. When the doors swing open, and they will make sure your destiny is safe because your boundaries are binding. Say it one last time with me. I do not lie. I do not steal. I do not sleep with anyone who is not my spouse. I lead with my life. Image before dominion. Honesty is my only policy. Go now. Install the locks today. Lead with your life.